I remember way back in the day, the first time a client asked me to send them a proposal, and I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I hang up the phone and I'm like, what's a proposal? Whoops. If you're a freelancer, then there are 2 important documents you want to send your clients before you start working together. The first is a proposal and the second is a contract. I already have a video on contracts, so I'm going to drop that link below. I will preface this with, I am not a lawyer. But what about your proposal? First of all, what is it? So a proposal outlines 2 things: the services that you're suggesting and what it's going to cost the client. That's it. This is information that you might have already discussed on a phone call. That's very often what happens to me, but the proposal's a little more formal, and it helps make sure that everyone's on the same page about what you are offering and what the investment looks like for the client. For example, I'm a writer, so when I send proposals to potential clients, it'll usually outline how many blogs per month I'm suggesting, the word count per blog, since that greatly affects my workload. If it includes things like keyword research, SEO, images, and then finally the flat monthly rate that I would be charging them. That's how I charge my clients. Keep the proposal simple. Sometimes freelancers will pad it and make it super drawn out, like a 5-page proposal, because they think it makes them look more professional or capable or smart. It actually has the opposite effect, okay? All you're going to do is overwhelm the client. Don't tell them anything except what they need to know. Proposals are helpful and really necessary for 2 important reasons. First of all, like I mentioned a moment ago, it helps make sure that everyone is on the same page. It very clearly outlines in black and white what you are offering and what you expect in return. And 2, and this one's a biggie, it gives you a paper trail. That way, if a client ever comes back in the future and they say, well, why didn't you do this? You go back to your proposal and you say, this wasn't a part of our original agreement. Hopefully that won't happen to you. That doesn't happen to me very often, but it's good to cover your behind. And also, you do want to be clear with your clients. It's a 2-way street. We send proposals to protect ourselves, but also to make their lives easier. They appreciate that. Why can't you just send this information in an email? Isn't it the same thing? Yeah, kind of. I mean, an email would get the job done, but honestly, a proposal just looks more polished and professional. And honestly, if you're going to type up this information for an email, then why not just copy paste it into a separate document? Little details can go a long way. I will put the client's logo at the top of my proposal and just little things like that to make it look more complete. But you always need it in writing. You always want the paper trail. If you discussed it on a call, that is not enough. Have a paper trail. Cover your butt. Paper trail. Cover butt. The client might ask you for a proposal. Even if they don't, send it anyway. I mentioned earlier that there are 2 documents, the proposal and the contract. Note that these are not the same thing. A proposal is not a contract, and a contract is not a proposal. If a client accepts the proposal, then you send a contract, and that's where you go into much more detail about exactly what's included in your services, what you're charging, when they owe it, what method you want to be paid through, what happens if they pay you late, what happens if you deliver the work late, and on and on and on. Now, I know that some freelancers will try to condense the 2 documents and they will add a signature line to their proposal. So they send the proposal, the client needs to accept it and sign it, and that's the end of it. And there's no contract, or that acts as the contract. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't say for sure. Getting a signature could help, but again, a proposal is not a contract, so I wouldn't assume that a proposal with a signature is automatically going to protect you as much as a contract would, because again, a formal contract goes into much more detail. If you need real help with this, you got to go talk to a lawyer, especially if you're dealing with larger amounts of money. I know it's an extra expense, but really investing in a lawyer protects you from losing money down the road. You're likely going to find that a lot of your proposals look very similar, so make your life easier and use a template, and then you can just swap out the details based on the client. I make my proposals in a Google Drive doc. I have a template, and every time I need to send a new one, I just make a copy of the template, customize it for the client, and away we go. Don't let this part of the process make you nervous. Sending a proposal means you are that much closer to landing the client. Yay. And if you're having trouble making it to the proposal, then that might mean you're having a hard time landing the right clients. In that case, that's where your old pal Megan comes in. I'm going to drop the link below to my program, Revenue Spark, the Client Accelerator. This is where I teach freelancers like you my start to finish process for landing high-paying clients. And if you didn't hear the exciting news yet, I created a LinkedIn group for freelancers specifically where we can connect and support each other. So that link is also in the description below. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, just drop them below and I'll do my best to respond to you, and I'll see you in the next video.